Welcome back to the Cat Box. Today we are back at the workbench making the best GoPro hat mount you've ever seen. Okay guys, so here's my quick guide on how to make what I believe is the best hat mount for your GoPro. So there's a lot of different hat mounts out there right now. Obviously there is the GoPro typical hat mount. Now this just clips right onto the bill of the hat. Stays on there roughly good. I mean, you can obviously pull it off pretty easily, but I mean, jumping around and moving around, it'll probably stay on there. The only problem is though, is that it's sitting way too far on the bill of the hat. It weighs down, at least for me, and I don't want to, I hate the feeling of my hat always wanting to fall off. So definitely don't want that one. We got some aftermarket ones as well that kind of go on here, tighten down. But once again, I didn't like its location. It was still a little too far forward, and it was sitting a little too high for what I wanted. So wasted money on that. Go ahead and throw that off to the side as well. So I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and find a way to mount a GoPro the cheap route. Of course, Brain Exploder has some really great hat mounts out there. His actually puts your GoPro just about the same place as where my mod puts your GoPro, just a lot cheaper. So basically the way that we're going to do it is going to require no more money. All the pieces that are going to go into this mod, you should be getting with any standard GoPro package out there. So you got your case. This is a skeleton somewhat style case. It's what I prefer. Obviously, it can be any GoPro case you want. We got our case here. Obviously, the GoPro we won't be needing right now, and it's probably a good idea to keep it out so you do not damage it. So we'll set it off to the side. Now, here I've got a couple clips that come with GoPros. So this is a clip that came with my Hero 4. So this is actually the clip that we're looking into using today. Now this is the clip that I got for my Hero 5. Now I haven't made a successful way of using this one for a variety of reasons. First off, just the design, the build of the two clips, this one is a little bit thicker than this one is, which kind of later on you will get to why that's an issue. Also, the nut here that the typical GoPro screws go into, it's a little more difficult to take out than on this one. This one's actually very easy to take out. It's almost meant to be taken out, and that's going to be very important for later. So if you can get your hands on a GoPro Hero 4 and probably any before that clip, that's exactly what we're looking for. Now the acceptor for the clip, we will not be needing. This mod actually only uses the clip rather than this piece, so you can all go ahead and just throw that away as well. So what we got right here is we've got the clip, we've got the case, and we've also got your traditional GoPro screw. So what you're going to want to start by doing is taking the actual screw out of this. So don't throw this away though, we will need this, so you go ahead and separate your screw from the plastic piece there. Now you can go ahead and set this off to the side. And what we'll do now is you're going to want to cut a decent sized square out of the bill of your hat from where you want your GoPro. So this is where I've done it. I've done this. This is now my second hat that I've done this to. And this is the exact location that I think is best. It's just enough space. Go ahead and set the case just about where it's going to be sitting. It's just enough space so that when you put on the hat, your head's not touching the back of the camera. And I believe at this location, it's not too far forward, it's not too far back. It's exactly where I think a GoPro should be when it's mounted on a hat. So you're gonna go ahead and just cut out. So you can use scissors here, you can use any form of cutting through this material. You'll be cutting through the actual material of the hat itself, as well as this plasticky, kind of harder material that actually makes the stiffness of the bill. Now don't take away too much of this material though, because you will not want to hinder the stability of the bill. So after you've gone ahead and cut out your square there, perfect, you can go ahead and set this hat off to the side. We won't get to that until later. So now go ahead and pop out the actual nut that's inside of the clip. Now this is fairly easy. There's usually a little notch down here below the nut. and you'll just go ahead and pull out the nut using that notch. It comes out fairly easily. I don't know if some might be glued in, but it shouldn't be in there permanently. So separate the nut from there. Now, we can use this nut for this mod, or you can go ahead and just grab any other nut that's actually going to fit onto the screw. It's up to you guys. You can make it work with this one. I just prefer a nut that actually goes all the way through, rather than this one, which obviously can't go all the way through. So go ahead and set those pieces off to the side. Now, this is where we're going to start using our major tools. My most favorite tool, the Dremel. It's going to be a fairly easy, simple Dremel cut. What we're going to be looking at doing here is cutting the basically the grip of this knob off on this line right here. I'll probably include a picture in there more close up, exactly where to cut this piece off, just so you guys are making sure you're cutting off at the exact place as it needs to be cut. But yeah, you're gonna be cutting right here, and then you can go ahead and actually just throw away this grip piece of the knob. It's no longer useful for us, and what you'll be left with is just this stem right here. Now, once you have this stem right here, you're gonna go ahead and cut this stem in half. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of my cuts aren't perfect at all. But just basically cut that piece in half, so you have two of almost the exact looking piece. Now when you go ahead and do this, you should be having some pieces that look something like this. So they're nice, they're kind of cone shaped a little bit, but these are very important for later when we go to actually install the mount. So with those pieces, we set that off to the side, and now we are ready to start creating our mount. So from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is you're going to grab the hat and stick your clip through the bottom up so that it's sticking out. Now, it's not going to stick out all the way, especially on some of those newer hats that haven't been worn in a lot. What you're going to have to do is you're really just going to have to just kind of bend down the sides here. Now, if you want to, you could probably cut out some more of that bill plasticky material if you wanted to. But not too much, but you just want to get it down in there and push that up as far as you can. Now, as you see at this point, I still don't have the nut in there. You're not going to want to put that in. So go ahead and stick that in through your square, and you have your mount. So go ahead and put your case inside of your mount. You can grab the screw. Now, when you get the screw, grab either one of the halves that you cut, and you're going to put it on like this. So you're going to have the wider portion out towards the head of the screw. Now, I do this so that it can kind of contour to the bend of the hat. Now, unless you're rolling a flat bill, which if that's what you're into, then awesome, but most of us are going to be running these bend builds. So it's going to have a nice contour to it so that it makes it simpler and easier for putting the screw through and having these pieces. Now, what these pieces are going to be for is to give a little, to basically give the screw something to sit on so that it's squeezing the clip in the bottom and this screw down onto the bill, and that's what's basically holding your mount onto your hat. So once you get here, for you guys it might be a little bit more difficult. You might have to bend the bill a little bit, but basically what you're gonna get to doing is you're going to put the other plastic piece on the other end of the screw as you're passing it through. So I've already done this, so it's a little simpler for me, but it's still very tight. Even though I've already done this, it's still very tight. So I'm actually gonna have to screw it in there. Don't screw all the way through though yet, because at this point, the screw's just about to peer through our second plastic piece. This is when you'll grab your nut. So you can use the original one, as I said, or you can go ahead and use just any other standard nut. So this, if you do it this way, this is basically gonna be the only piece you're actually gonna have to buy extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. Sooner or later, it'll catch the threads of that nut. Now, at this point, this is when you're gonna want to, before you tighten that screw all the way down, this is where you're gonna want to find out exactly where you want to pivot your GoPro case. So obviously, if you're too far down, you're gonna start seeing the bill of your hat. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing it this exact method, because I made a way of doing this where the actual screw for it was underneath the bill. It worked good for me for a very long period of time. I made many of my videos using it that way. However, if you notice in some of my earlier videos, sometimes you'll catch the bill, especially if I'm rocking up and down. And that was because it was just a little too low. So you don't want to be aiming it too low. Don't want to be aiming it too high. We're looking for this first person view. So you're going to want to get it just exactly where it looks good for you. You have a screen on the back. That's perfect. Very useful. It's a lovely part to GoPro 4s and 5s. But we'll go ahead and put it exactly where we want it, and then we'll tighten it down. Now, when you tighten it down, you can use just any old pair of pliers to hold on to that nut as you tighten it. And right there, we've got ourselves the best GoPro mount, do-it-yourself GoPro mount, that is, that I believe is out there. It's nice, it's sturdy, it's solid, it doesn't move around at all. It's perfect, and it's worked great for me. I've been using this mod for quite some time on myself. I'm actually doing this for my brother, and I think it's perfect, and I think that you guys should give it a shot. If you guys are looking for a cheap method on how to keep your GoPro at a really great position for first-person view on a ball cap. If you guys liked what you saw, go ahead and give it a like. Definitely be sure to subscribe for more DIY tutorials like this. Check out some of my other DIY tutorials and some of my other videos in the cat box. And thanks for watching, guys.